Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Jamel from Fantasy Life, and today I bring you the Asuma Breakdown. In this breakdown series, we are going to be going over Asuma's speed, his attack damage, as well as his jutsus, ultimate jutsu and awakening, the amount of chakra they take, the range they are, and the amount of damage they do. So I do want to give you the heads up before I start, is that the regular Asuma as well as the reanimated Asuma is the same exact Asuma. There are no difference in the Asumas other than the visual appearance. Okay, so Asuma's speed is about average. He's about as quick as Kakashi. He's not faster than Guy. Guy is a bit faster, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, Orochimaru and Kono is also a bit faster than he is. He's about average speed, as those characters tend to be a little bit faster. He is a close to mid-range fighter. He would be the person you would pick when you want to get up close and personal on the person you're fighting. If you want to have a more aggressive gameplay, he is one of the best people to pick for that, as all his moves are close to mid-range. Now, we're going to start with his tilt. His tilt is a lunge, which does about 5% damage. It's good at closing a small gap without burning any chakra. And again, it does about 5% damage. Does not do more damage. It's mostly for closing a small gap without burning any chakra. I will say that his jutsu is also a mid-range. It does not go very far, as you can see. It does not stretch the length of the screen. It does take roughly 30% of his chakra, so you can do the Burning Ash about 3 times before having to charge up your chakra. Now the Burning Ash does do a base damage of 10% with a chip damage of 5%. And in my opinion, any move that does chip damage is a really good move. So with the Burning Ash, you're going to see roughly a total damage of about 15%. His grab doesn't have much reach to it. His combos do about 15% damage, 15 to 20% damage, closer to the 15% mark. His down combo does do roughly 20%. The down combos have a tendency of doing more damage. Now, I want to get into his ultimate jutsu. His ultimate jutsu does not have unlimited range. It is a mid-range attack as well. As you can see there, it does not stretch the entire screen. It takes roughly 30% chakra if you miss, and an extra 10% for a total of 40% chakra if you connect. Now with most ultras, the total damage on it is roughly 30 to 35%. Asuma is no different. So that's the 30%, and then that's the total of 40% chakra it takes. And the total damage it deals is roughly 30 to 35% damage. Okay, and that's pretty much it for the base Asuma. Again, he's mostly a close range fighter. He doesn't have much long range attacks. He does have some decent mid-range moves to help you close the gap or just attack from a mid-range standpoint. But he's the type of character you pick when you want to be very aggressive in a fight. So now let's get into his awakening. As in his awakening, he is slightly different. So in his awakening, his speed is roughly the same. He doesn't really get much of a speed boost. He does get the damage buff, but the most unique difference in his awakening is that now all his attacks have a projectile aspect to them. So his grab actually is a projectile. His tilt also is a projectile. And his just regular combos all have projectiles now. Kind of like what happens to Danzo when he transforms. All his attacks have a projectile to them. Now, up close, his grab deals about 10% damage. His regular combo, which is only one combo, deals about 25% damage, which is a huge buff. So you can see it deals about 25% damage. Unfortunately, this particular Asuma doesn't have any extra jutsus, So he only has his tilt and his one burning ash jutsu, which does deal more damage. So the base damage then becomes 15% with a chip damage of 5% for a total of about 20% damage if you hit them with the burning ash jutsu. It still only takes about 30% of your chakra, so you're still looking at about 3 burning ashes before having to recharge your chakra. But one of the things I did notice about his transform state is that his projectiles does not do much damage. In fact, they only do 1% damage if you were to hit them with your projectile. So as you can see there, it barely took 1%, and that was with the grab that does 10% damage up close. Now, his combos are the same. If you do the combo at a long range, it deals almost no damage to the opponent. But if you hit him up close, it deals 25% damage. That also goes for his tilt. His tilt, if you hit him with the projectile, it does barely 1% damage. But if you hit him up close with the tilt, you're looking at about 10 to 15% damage. And that's pretty much it for Asuma. He doesn't have much moves in his moveset, in his repertoire. He's a really good close to mid-range fighter. But that's pretty much it. He's a character you play very aggressive with. I will say the good thing about his projectiles is that it throws the opponent off slightly, which does give you the opportunity to then rush him down to deal more damage. That's the best benefit to his projectiles, which is a really good benefit. And in fact, from what I learned playing with Asuma, a lot of his mid-range attacks are meant to kind of get you a bit closer or give you the opportunity to close any gap. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys learned something today. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, as it does help the channel. And watch out for the next episode. Remember, your life is a fantasy.